Have you been busy, caught up with other things, or just don't know what shows to start on Hulu in 2024? If so, then welcome. I'm Greg, and welcome to the Binge List, where we make recommendations for TV shows, movies that you can access from the comfort of your own home. And Hulu has a phenomenal library of awesome shows, and today we're going to check out 11 of the best, including some personal favorites of mine. And I talk about some of the more obvious ones up front, and then hopefully shed some light on some of the less mainstream options for you later on. So stop mindlessly scrolling, stop wasting your time, and let's jump in and check out the list. Our first show on the list is the newest series on Hulu, and that is Shogun. I'm only 4 episodes into this at the time of recording this, but it is too good not to share. This is a historical epic miniseries that retells the story of James Blackthorne. He's an Englishman who gets shipwrecked on the shores of feudal Japan in the 1600s. He gets thrust into this ruthless world of warring feudal lords and encounters the cunning Lord Toranaga. Blackthorne's skills and knowledge are initially seen as a threat, but he eventually earns respect and becomes entangled in the power struggles of this time. This show looks amazing on screen, and the production value is top notch, with attention to detail and boatloads of money thrown at it, highlighting beautiful cinematography, costume design, and sets that are incredible recreations of feudal Japan. It is truly an awe-inspiring reimagination of Japanese history and customs along with the central narrative. So far, the cast performances have all been extremely strong. I really love Hiroyuki Sanada in many of his iconic roles, and his portrayal of Lord Toranaga is no different, and he has great chemistry with Cosmo Jarvis's Blackthorne. The first few episodes build a ton of tension and hint at the conflicts and the action that are to come, and I'm really excited right now to get to those next episodes to see where this leads. This is a remake based on a historical novel of the same name, so I fully expect some to not love it like I have for, reasons, but I definitely recommend giving it a shot and at least see for yourself.
Because death can come for us at any moment.
Next, we travel to the dystopian future America called Gilead in The Handmaid's Tale, where a totalitarian theocracy has seized power after environmental disasters and plummeting birth rates have created a society obsessed with procreation. Fertile women known as handmaids are forced into sexual servitude under the ruling class in a desperate attempt to repopulate the world. Offred, who is our main character, is a handmaid who grapples with her repressed past, the brutal realities of her present, and the sliver of hope for the future. Elizabeth Moss portrays Offred, the main character, and her performance captures this character's devastation, resilience, and inner strength perfectly. Her performance is absolutely powerful. Honestly, she keeps you engaged the entire time with her, and you're rooting for her and you're feeling for her the entire time. Along with a slew of other amazing performances from the supporting cast like Yvonne Strahovski, Joseph Phineas, Samira Wiley, and Bradley Whitford, with so many others along the way. This show is an award winner and is critically acclaimed with its insanely compelling story. It keeps you engaged on so many different levels. But I do want to say it's not for everyone. In some parts, you may find yourself unsure what you just watched on screen, even truly hating some of the characters, and it can be super dark and bleak with some truly unsettling situations. But the series does have vivid world building as they meticulously craft this believable and unsettling world, immersing you in the oppressive atmosphere. In my opinion, this is an awesome series with a lot to enjoy, and you have to be able to stomach some of those extreme situations the show depicts because they certainly do not hold back. But if none of that has made you click ahead, I would certainly give this one a shot.
Wear the red dress. Wear the wings. Shut your mouth. Be a good girl.
Seriously? What the actual
Next up is the series I talked about in my best shows of 2023 video, and that is The Bear. This is a comedic drama that delves into the fast-paced and pressure-filled world of a small family-run Chicago sandwich shop. Carmi is a young chef with fine dining experience who returns home to take over his family's struggling business after his brother's tragic death. Carmi faces a daunting task. He has to revamp the menu, he has to deal with the rough around the edges kitchen staff, and navigate the strained family dynamics, all while grappling with his own personal grief. This series is high energy and immersive right from the get-go. It takes you right into the energetic pace of the chaotic kitchen environment, capturing the intensity and stress of the culinary world. Helping to make it so immersive is the real-life chefs as consultants who are brought in as part of this crew to ensure the authenticity of these kitchen scenes, and it's filmed entirely on location in a Chicago shop. It is really cool to see a series show this realistic depiction of the challenges faced by small businesses and the blue-collar working class, which is something that many like myself can relate to. And I mentioned this in my first recommendation of this show, and I have to say it again, but Jeremy Allen White has grown into this phenomenal actor and really shines in these gritty comedic roles. His portrayal of Carmi is certainly one of the standouts of this show, as you see him explore the character's ambitions, frustrations, and of course his flashes of humor on screen. The Bear received critical acclaims for its writing, directing, acting, production value, winning numerous awards including Emmy Awards, Golden Globes. Absolutely worth a watch.
I have every intention of turning this into a respectable place of business. Eventually.
My fourth pick on this list is Reservation Dogs. This is a comedic drama following the lives of 4 teenagers growing up on a rural reservation in Oklahoma. Yearning for a better life in California, they spend their days dreaming of an escape. The show explores themes of friendship, grief, identity, and the challenges of growing up in a humorous and heartfelt way. Reservation Dogs is the first American television series to feature all Indigenous writers and directors, along with an almost entirely Indigenous North American cast and crew. With Taika Waititi co-creating this series, I assume the show is going to include some level of humor, and it does have a fair share of laugh-out-loud moments, mostly from the core group of friends' banter, arguments, and just the numerous comedic situations they find themselves in. And the show does a really good job of blending that humor with the heart of the story and the coming-of-age themes that they explore, with really strong performances from that core group of friends portraying these complex characters over the many seasons. Also, I'm a huge fan of America's Got Talent, so this is a little bit of a weird one, but it was awesome to see some contestants that I've seen on the show from like 10 years ago. It was Little Mike and Funny Bone who make it into this series in some supporting roles. I initially checked this out because of Taika Waititi's involvement, and this is a fun show. It's very enjoyable. I was pleasantly surprised with how much I enjoyed the narrative, the young cast, and the humor itself. Well worth checking out.
Someone stole the truck. Broad daylight.
Put your seatbelt on.
Seatbelt?
People's safety.
We're stealing a f***ing chip
I do not give a shit, man. Put your seatbelt on. We're not going.
Let's go!
My next pick is one of my favorites on this list, and it is a sci-fi miniseries based on a Stephen King novel produced by J.J. Abrams, and that's 11/22/63. Where we meet Jake, who is presented with a life-altering opportunity when his lifelong friend Al reveals a hidden portal in his diner that transports somebody back to October 21st, 1960. Al tasks Jake with a monumental mission: go back to prevent the assassination of President John F. Kennedy on 11/22/1963. So why not? Jake travels back in time repeatedly, attempting to alter the course of history while grappling with the consequences of changing the past. He falls in love with a local librarian, Sadie, which further complicates this mission as he becomes attached to the life he built in the past. Those of you that watch my videos know that I love time travel stories, and this central concept of time travel and the attempt to prevent a historical tragedy is right up my alley, showing how this can go absolutely horribly wrong in so many different ways. There are plenty of strong performances from the cast in this one: Sarah Gadon, George McKay, Chris Cooper, Daniel Weber, and a lot of other familiar faces, but James Franco is great as this very complex character. He is charismatic and engaging as he always is, but also feels very relatable and easy to connect with as this character. And you really see Franco's acting chops in this character's moments of doubt, hope, and the emotional weight of the mission. I do know there are deviations from the Stephen King novel, and when I read some of the reviews, some people did not like that, but I did not read this book, so to me this is just an engaging story with great acting and fun use of the time travel trope surrounding a story most are familiar with. Absolutely worth checking out.
Go in this closet, take a look around, then I'll tell you everything.
The next 2 shows on this list are actually recommendations from somebody in the comments that I checked out, and the first one is The Class of '09. This is a suspenseful thriller miniseries that follows a group of FBI agents who graduated from Quantico back in 2009. The story unfolds across 3 distinct timelines: their initial training days, the present, and the future, with a drastically altered criminal justice system that heavily is influenced by artificial intelligence. As the FBI grapples with these changes, a mysterious death from their past resurfaces, bringing the former classmates all back together. This miniseries has a very intriguing premise with the interweaving timelines and the use of AI in law enforcement, which is why I was surprised I didn't hear about this before the comment. This series boasts some strong performances from the cast, led by Brian Tyree and Kate Mara, who portray the central characters in the story. They play the same characters throughout the series, but it's really cool to see their performances evolve and change across the multiple time periods as they grapple with the issues from the past and the present. I'm definitely a fan of the thriller crime genre, so I appreciated the show's ability to build tension and keep you guessing throughout as they slowly unveil the answers across these multiple timelines throughout the story. But I do like to be honest about my recommendations, and I liked this series. Yes, it certainly kept me engaged and I enjoyed the acting, but I did feel like some of the components could have been used a little bit better, and not the most amazing ending of a series I've ever seen. But if you like crime thrillers and you're looking for a solid series, you could do way worse than Class of 09, and it is a quick 8-episode limited series, so it's worth checking out.
Ever thought of joining the FBI?
No, I haven't.
Looking for people outside of law enforcement.
The second recommendation that I got was a whodunit mystery thriller, A Murder at the End of the World, where amidst whispers of an impending apocalypse, a young woman named Darby Hart, who is a talented amateur detective, is invited to a secluded estate of a tech mogul and finds herself in a murder investigation. As suspicions and paranoia rise with the isolation, Darby uses her keen skills to unravel the truth behind the crime, but the investigation quickly becomes this psychological thriller that blends mystery with themes of isolation, survival, and the search for meaning in a seemingly doomed world. This one is a super thought-provoking story as you follow this character's struggles in the face of potential extinction, almost feeling like, does it really matter because all of this may soon be over type of thing, if that makes any sense. But the show has excellent production value with meticulous attention paid to this isolated setting. They do this with the use of colors and the cinematography to convey the beauty but also the cold and isolated feel of this Arctic setting. This is another title with a lot of strong performances from the cast of Clive Owen, Harrison Dickerson, Emma Corrin, Britt Marling, and Alice Braga. Before even watching this, I had a feeling with a lineup like this, the acting was going to be excellent, and it really is in this series. I enjoyed the series The OA, and this has the same creators, so I checked it out, and I have to give it up to the comment section. Well worth a watch. Next on our list is a show with a bit more of a commitment to it, and that's because it has 6 seasons, and this is the series Snowfall. This is a crime drama that delves into the origins of the crack cocaine epidemic in Los Angeles during the 1980s. The story unfolds through 3 main narratives that are all intertwined in one way or another, following the rise of Franklin Saint, a young man who enters the trade during this time. Then we also see the perspective of the CIA operatives who unintentionally contribute to the spread of the drug, and then the world of a powerful Mexican drug lord, all trying to navigate their own path in this criminal underworld. This show is such a cool, immersive exploration of this dark chapter in American history, showing the narrative unfold from multiple perspectives, and this allows each season's storyline to be gripping and suspenseful. There are so many compelling characters and outstanding performances in this series, and with 6 seasons, it allows the show time to explore the characters' complexities and moral ambiguity, making these characters fascinating but sometimes unsettling in the choices and the actions that they take. And while the show is fictionalized, the story draws inspiration from real-life things that happened during this time. And the world building in this one is awesome, with a vivid portrayal of this 1980s Los Angeles and this drug scene. Again, this one is a lengthier commitment compared to some of the others on this list, but if you're looking for something to keep you engaged, this is a solid option for crime drama enthusiasts.
You got 3 things in life when you're born. What your mama tells you, what the streets teach you, and what the future holds, which no one knows. That's the one you got control over.
On to another crime story, but this one's a bit different because it is jam-packed with humor, and this is Only Murders in the Building, where we follow 3 strangers, Charles, Oliver, and Mabel, who bond over their shared obsession with true crime podcasts. When a suspicious death occurs in their luxury Upper West Side apartment building, they decide to turn their love of crime into their own podcast, investigating the case themselves. This is a comedic murder mystery that blends humor and suspense throughout the series. You have to love the chemistry between the 3 leads in this one, Steve Martin and Martin Short are obviously great together, but you also see Selena Gomez work with them so well. Even her comedic wit fit right in with these two comedy legends. Along with several surprise celebrity cameos, adding an element to the show with some outstanding supporting characters, and these cameos are some A-list heavy hitters like Paul Rudd, Tina Fey, Cara Delevingne, and plenty of others. And this series is never overly heavy or dark. They keep it pretty lighthearted, offering a ton of laughs and humorous situations, and the show's humor is definitely a standout, but they blend it into the mystery well and keep you heavily engaged and entertained. I did feel like the concept of a true crime podcast fueling an amateur investigation felt very realistic in today's world. Made me think of the true crime documentaries I've seen like Don't F with Cats and stuff like that. This is another star-studded production that has won multiple awards and is set for a 4th season in 2024, so it's a great time to jump in and binge it on Hulu.
You see many of them every day, but have you ever wondered what goes on behind their doors?
Are you so
Number 10 on our list is the psychological thriller miniseries The Patient. This series explores the dark and twisted dynamic between a therapist and his patient. Alan is a gentle and empathetic therapist who is taken hostage by Sam, this seemingly unassuming young man who reveals himself to be a serial killer. Alan gets trapped and becomes Sam's unwilling therapist, forced to listen to his disturbing confessions and desperately try to prevent him from killing again. As the series progresses, Alan delves into Sam's troubled past while confronting his own demons and anxieties along the way. I always love to watch titles where actors take on a role that is against their typical character type, and in this one, Steve Carell is far from the funny man, and Carell and Gleason showcase their dynamic range and captivate you in this series. They are a powerful duo. The show makes you feel almost claustrophobic in this one due to the setting that you're in, and they allude to what is potentially a very dangerous situation that creates this sense of suspense and unease as they delve into this character's psyche through the exploration of therapy and trauma. One thing with miniseries is I always feel like the ending leaves some unanswered questions. Because of the length, they can't close every loop, and this one's no different, but this is a small nitpicky blemish in an overall enjoyable show. The Patient is a suspenseful and character-driven drama that explores this unique fight for survival in a very terrifying situation.
What can I help you with, G?
I'm not content. I get angry. That's the sort of thing you help people with, right?
The last title on this list is a crazy miniseries based on a true story, and this is The Dropout. This chronicles the rise and fall of Elizabeth Holmes, the founder of Theranos, a blood testing company that promised revolutionary technology to the masses. The story begins with Elizabeth's ambitious vision and unwavering belief in her own ideas. However, soon the dark side of her relentless pursuit of success appears as you uncover the deceptions and the flawed technology behind her company. I really like the cast they put together for this miniseries. Amanda Seyfried's performance as Elizabeth Holmes is done so well. She is full of charisma, determination, and a little bit crazy throughout the story. And the supporting cast has so many actors that I really like, with Utkarsh M. Budkar, Naveen Andrews, William H. Macy, Sam Waterston, Stephen Fry, and Dylan Minnette, and so many others throughout this series. Honestly, this is only a fraction of the list of amazing actors in this one. The fact that this is a real life story of Theranos and Elizabeth Holmes is bonkers to me. It really delves into how this actually happened and all the flaws of the corporate world. The series does not shy away from depicting real corporate culture, the pressures of success, and the ethical or moral quandaries of companies and their leaders. And like many shows and movies that are based on true stories, I'm sure some creative liberties were taken throughout where they Hollywooded up things, but it is still craziness that this actually happened. This is an excellent series based on a true story with an incredible cast and a bonkers story. Absolutely worth a watch.
The world works in certain ways until a new great idea comes along and changes everything.
And that's going to do it for our list today, everybody. You can check out some of our other recommendations for other streaming services here if you're looking for other alternatives, but take a second to like and subscribe to the channel. We really appreciate it. It helps us get our recommendations out to others looking for good movies and TV shows to stream at home. Thanks again, and we'll see you in the next one.